if we're given the graph of a function, you want to be able to find the domain and range. All we have to do is just pay attention to what values we can put in for x and what values we can get out for y. That is, see where the curve goes. And to understand this, we're going to get a couple of quick examples here. So for this, we want to identify the domain and range of the functions graphed below. So in our first case there, what we can do is just see where the function goes. See what x values can possibly happen and what y values can possibly happen, where our domain is the potential x values. And because this function goes from -2 to 1, including both ends with those filled dots like I mentioned earlier, we can write this as the closed interval from -2 to 1, or if we prefer set builder notation, x such that x is between -2 and 1 inclusive. Similarly, for the range, well, it goes from 0 to 3, so 0 to 3, or in set builder notation, y such that 0 is less than or equal to y is less than or equal to 3. It's close enough for me. That's as good as I'm going to get. Meanwhile, in our second case, we do the same thing, except we have to be a little bit more careful noting the open circle on there. And even though it's going down, that doesn't really throw us off too much, except we have to be careful about how well the pieces go from place to place. It's just that they're getting there in the opposite direction. For our domain, we are going from -2 to 1. Just kind of looks like we're going in reverse. Well, not in that case, reverse actually look fine. It's more the range where that's an issue. But anyway, we have x values there, starting at -2, but not including -2, and going up to 1. Meanwhile, for the range, now it looks like we're going backwards because we're going down, but in that case, the largest y value that we have is 2, and the smallest is -1, so our range, even though, again, we're going down, is -1, oh boy, my handwriting, 2, where we're still not including 2 because of that open circle, and as a result, we could write this in set builder notation if we prefer, as the set of y values going from -1, inclusive, up to 2, but in this case, not including 2. Where again, it's a little bit subtle about what things we're including and what things we're not including. Just pay close attention to whether or not those bubbles, as it were, happen to be filled. And then the next thing we're going to talk about here is, again, something that should be familiar. We're going to be looking at the intercepts of our functions in terms of graphs.